Hello everyone, it's Dennie Heye here for the SLA Europe podcast. Today we're joined by Kate Arnold of SLA Europe, one of our own, and she's recently been elected or voted at SLA Fellow. Well, congratulations, Kate.
Thank you, Dennie.
Before we talk about the ceremony and all the wonderful extras that's going to bring to you, could you tell us a bit? Because you told me that you work at Cancer Research UK. What's that, and what do you do there?
Yes, that's right, Dennie. Yes, Cancer Research UK is the world's leading cancer charity doing research, and we're entirely funded by contributions from the public. And I work in the information department there, and until a couple of weeks ago, I actually ran all of what they term the patient information services, which are basically a telephone helpline and email service that is staffed by oncology nurses, a team of oncology nurses who write content for a website called Cancer Help UK, and a team that run a online forum called Cancer Chat. So I was in charge of all of them. I've now moved and I'm doing some other work that are sort of specialist projects to do with information, some work we're doing with Macmillan Cancer Support and the National Cancer Action Team to develop some cancer information prescriptions, which is a big project to make sure that you get the right information in the right format at the right time during your cancer journey. And I'm also doing some work on information for the Cancer Drugs Fund.
Must be a lot of balls juggling in the air for you.
Well, a bit. But I think most information people are used to having to multitask and do a number of things at once.
Yeah, give us more challenges. Okay, so you were named or voted SLA Fellow. So could you tell us a bit, first of all, what's an SLA Fellow for those who don't know?
Okay, SLA Fellows are a group of people who are recognised for their service within SLA and within the information industry as a whole, and it's really sort of termed as a mid-career award. So it recognises what you've done in the past, and it also anticipates the kind of work you will do in the future. Not sure how many fellows there are, but it's a group that meets once a year at conference and is often asked to sit on committees and help with task forces, etc. And also does the first timers event at conference. So many people may well have gone to that reception. Well, that's run by the fellows. So as you say, they're a group who honour members every year, and up to 5 people are nominated by the fellows and receive their fellowship. And I was lucky enough to be one of the 5 this year.
Is it a secret vote? Can anyone nominate? Or?
Well, I think, it's not very interesting, actually. You're not actually told who nominates you. And it is, I believe, it is up to the fellows to actually do the nominating. And then they have a discussion about who should get it and kind of choose the people. And then they let the awards committee for SLA as a whole know who the 5 fellows are. So it is a bit cloak and dagger, which I think in a sort of, in this world, it would be quite nice to know exactly who nominated you. So thank you to those who did nominate, because you know who you are.
We've got you. One of the things that was in the, because there's an official press release on you being named an SLA Fellow, is that there was some talk about you being a driving force into expanding SLA Europe. So could you tell us a bit, for those who are new to SLA Europe, what you did there?
Okay, I've been a member of SLA Europe for the last 12 years, and I've been on the board probably for about the last 10 years or so, and I've been quite active in a number of different roles. I have been president of the chapter twice, in 2002, 3 and in 2010, and I've helped, I think, along with a lot of other people, some of whom are still on the board and some who have left the board now, to actually kind of expand SLA's presence in Europe. And we've had a number of kind of initiatives to increase the number of people who are attending our events, but then also who are actually active members. And I've been either in a position being the president or being on one of the committees that's looked into this. So, for instance, in 2009, when we saw AUKML close and SIG close, we made deliberate offers to those members, those former members of those groups, to join SLA Europe to see what we could offer, because we felt that as a group we could provide many of the things that those groups that had closed offered. So that was kind of one of our initiatives. Also, I think it was in about 2006, 2007, we realised that we needed to do more with the early careers people and with students. So did a number of initiatives, a dissertation prize for a number of universities, and we introduced in 2007 our originally our student award, but became our early career conference award.
Yep.
Which takes number of people to conference each year and gets them involved with the division, because one of the great things about SLA is the fact that you have both a chapter, which is a sort of regional grouping where you'll meet lots of different special librarians or information professionals, and then also a division which will give you a grouping of people who might be in the same subject area as you, but who are worldwide. And they're the two things that really make SLA so good and so vital, and to be honest, my favourite and the best of all the professional associations I've been involved in, and I wanted others to understand and appreciate that. So I think I've been, along with a lot of other people, quite a driving force to make sure that SLA Europe has a very good place in Europe, but also in the wider SLA as a whole.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people have to thank you and the others for all the work that you do, because just organizing an award, I can tell from experience, it's not easy. It's not like it's months and months and months of many people, but there's a lot of work involved behind the scenes, getting the funding and arranging everything. So I've heard from a couple of people who won such an award that they really appreciate the SLA Europe doing this, because especially if you're new to the profession, you don't always have the money to attend the conference, and it is a life-changing event for most people.
Yes, no, I would agree with you wholeheartedly. And my first conference in 2000 in Philadelphia was very life-changing, and I think that's one of the reasons why I was very keen to join the board and get others who might not experience that to understand what was available and how they could partake in it.
And you mentioned that the being named an SLA Fellow is a mid-career award. So there's a bit of looking forward and a bit of looking back. So when we look back, so if you look back when you started as a young information professional, what advice would you like to give young Kate?
Well, advice I'd like to give young Kate, that's kind of interesting, because it's actually it's my 25th year in the profession this year, so it's quite nice to get an award to kind of honour that. And it's meant that I've spent quite a bit of time reflecting back to what would I have done differently, what would I have said to myself. And I think one of the things that I would say to my younger self is keep that enthusiasm that you have initially, when sometimes you might not have that much in terms of knowledge and experience, but you have the enthusiasm and sort of the childlike curiosity, that at some point in your career you kind of move over so you've got more knowledge and experience than enthusiasm. And it's how do you keep that enthusiasm throughout, because it's a really, really vital thing, and it will allow you to take risks and challenge yourself. And I think that's really important in terms of remembering to keep doing that. I think I'd also say get involved with professional bodies and associations, do some volunteering, offer to do things. It's an opportunity to take some risks, but in quite a comfortable environment. And I first started out with AUKML and then progressed to SLA. So I really do feel that that's actually something that is really important, and in the way I wish I had done it earlier. Don't stick too rigidly to a plan and think you've got to know what your next move is going to be, because quite often opportunities just happen and you need to seize them. So you need to be prepared to change direction, whether that's slowing down and not committing to too many things on a voluntary front, or actually moving jobs, because sometimes things just happen and you need to move. And then finally, I suppose I would say to my younger self, figure out what really interests you and keep with that and develop those skills. So if you really like and passionate about managing people, which is one of the things I quite like doing, make sure that that's where you go. You might have to sacrifice doing some more of the kind of research stuff, but acknowledge that your real interest and passion might lie in one direction.
Awesome.
And I think that's it for now, Dennie.
Yeah, and I agree with you, the passion. I remember when I started, there's so much energy, and then, like 10, 15 years down the road, you're thinking, here we go again. And if only you could have bottled up that energy. And then it's good that you can be around those young professionals again, at SLA or at work or wherever, that you remember, oh yeah, I was like that, and
Yes, and it's somehow getting back that enthusiasm and energy, and it's really important, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. And then last but not least, I read in the press release that you are a woman of many talents. One of the things that being mentioned is that you are a really good cordon bleu chef. Is that right?
Yes, that is right, Dennie. I actually, one of my ways of getting a little bit of my energy and enthusiasm back was I took 6 months off 4 years ago and actually did a cordon bleu course, and did manage to get through it, and actually for the first time in my life passed something with a distinction. So I'm the proud owner of a nice little certificate that says I have a distinction in a cooking course. But it was a wonderful opportunity. If I hadn't been a librarian, I probably would have been a chef. So I was taking my gap year quite late on.
Yeah, who knows? One day you could try to combine the two, cooking in the library.
Well, it's an interesting thought. I mean, there are lots of things that are very similar. Working in a kitchen where you have to work in a team, you've got to have that energy and enthusiasm, passion, and in the end, you are actually delivering a service.
That's true. I wanted to ask, what are the differences and what are the similarities? With cooking.
You're only as good as the last meal you cooked. You're only as good as the last inquiry you did.
Yeah.
So, I think there are lots of things that are very similar in those instances.
Yeah.
So when I think about some of my cooking exams where you were very much under pressure to cook a 3-course meal for 5 people for £5, or 4 people rather, for £5, and do it in 3 hours, and we're talking about, if you did bread, you had to make it from scratch. If you made pasta, you made it from scratch.
Oh.
A lot of that was multitasking and juggling and making sure you had things in the right place. So there are lots of things.
Yeah, at least you could eat the end product.
Yes, that's true. That's very true.
Okay, Kate, I really want to thank you for speaking to us on the podcast, and I want to invite everyone, if you've got a chance to meet Kate, and I've had that opportunity at previous conferences, go up, talk to her, wonderful source of experiences, and I think you're going to be at the online information later this year, right?
Yes, I'm hoping to be, Dennie.
Okay, then if so, I'm going to be there, and then we can record another podcast about other wonderful topics. So for all our listeners, thank you all. Thank you, Kate.
Thank you, Dennie.
And for those of you who want to check out more podcasts, please go to the SLA Europe blog. The address is www.sla-europe.org/blog, and we will post further updates there. Thank you all, and until next time.